Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking another look at the ATR-42. Well, we recently had an update which gave all sorts of fun little quirks, including this guy, the short takeoff and landing version of the ATR-42, which is kind of a trip, to say the least. So this aircraft is a buggy airplane, and I can say that in good confidence, because if you're not careful with what button you push, don't be surprised if suddenly you're not able to click anything at all. It's just kind of the way that there are so many systems jammed into this airplane at one place. You have to be so careful about what buttons you push and what order you push them in. Otherwise, they're going to make you crazy. You'll know what I mean. As a general rule, I recommend trying to stay away from using kind of like the funky things, like the hotel power and a lot of that stuff, and using ground power to basically get everything all set up. But I'm going to disregard that because I'm like that. And we're going to go ahead and show you how to get basically this thing started. We're going to skip the FMS initialization and things like that. We just want to kind of get you sort of situated with the hotel power and kind of be familiar with that, as well as how to get those two engines spinning again once you, of course, lock them up. So I'm going to ignore all this today because, again, not critical. One thing you do want to double check, though, just make sure your maintenance is okay. Like, I haven't done any damage to anything, so I'm not worried about it. I've got none of my ground power ready to go or anything like that. And honestly, I don't need any of it. One of the things I wish I could do, actually, is take this thing and throw it out the window before I accidentally click on it for the 50th time and, like, break something. But, it happens. So what I'm going to do here is just run through a couple different things. I'm going to make sure my condition levers are idle. I'll make sure my throttle is idle. I'll make sure we've got our parking brake on. Make sure the gust lock is set. That's all good stuff. And we're going to go ahead and float my head up here. Those of you who are familiar with things like Tupolev or Aleutian, you'll be right at home here. This has got a little bit of the Airbus vibe, but it also has a lot of like almost the Eastern philosophy for a lot of the control systems, especially the electrical system, which is such a trip in this airplane. And you'll see what I mean here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go up to my battery switch. I'm going to pop on my battery. When you do that, you're going to be getting all sorts of warning, and it's basically going to be giving you a heads up saying, hey, just so you're aware, you basically don't even have a DC bus right now. And that's correct. We don't have a DC bus. And the reason we don't, of course, is because this little tiny battery does not give us a lot. One of the things we can do if we had to is we could actually flip up and snap that sucker on, but that would be probably not a good idea. Again, we just need the emergency bus and essential bus. We don't need the entire plane running off the battery right now. We're just going to kill the battery. Trust me on that, you will. One of the things that makes this plane awkward is the fact that we have what they call wild electric power. This is the AC system. And then we have the DC system. One of the problems you'll probably observe is our DC generators go through an inverter into the AC buses. The AC buses happen to be the buses that run the hydraulic pumps. Now, if you look really carefully up here, you'll observe prop brake nose wheel steering is under this aux pump. You'll also notice if I click on it, nothing seems to make it actually work. And that's because the button for this is actually in a different place. This is simply the thing that allows it to connect to the rest of the system. Nice and awkward. Now, our hotel power is simply going to allow us to lock the propeller blade up and run the engine separately so we can get DC power flowing around. Not AC power, not AC power. I know what you're thinking. We actually got to turn the propeller to get AC. See how this starts to get complicated? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this switch alone because the ready light is not eliminated. If I click on that thing before the ready light is, you're going to jam something up and it's not going to be healthy. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and flip my head down here. And you can see I've got my little systems page here. To get to that, I'm going to just come down here and press system. You push it once, it's going to show me everything for oxygen. I don't care for that. Push it twice, it's going to show you everything for electrical power. Push it one last time, and you can see here is our handy-dandy hydraulics. Now, we need to get this aux hydraulic going so that we can feed our nose wheel steering, not really, our prop brake, so we can actually engage it. So to do that, it's actually really simple. I just noticed the fact that that was clicked in the wrong direction. Must have been something from earlier. I'm not going to stress about it too much. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down here, and you see this button says hydraulics, aux pump, click it fast. And again, this is going to start sucking your battery down real fast. But you'll notice now we have the ability to engage the prop brake. So I'm going to float up here and I'm going to go ahead and open this, engage. And you can see it's going to do that and tell us that it is ready to go. Now this is cool because you're going to hear that thing go boo and shut off in a moment. And that's it. That's the splurt of hydraulic pressure we're allowed here. And of course the thing will fail and you'll see that it is off again. We can push it again if we had to turn it back on, but that's okay because we're going to use the other propeller to get that thing released. You'll see what I mean. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start her up. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to press the sys page again. It's going to take me to this one. The number we're interested in is going to be over here. So I'm going to come up here now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fuel pump for that side. I'm going to go over to I'm going to disengage the generator. It seems to be just a general tip here. And I'm going to go to my start position. We're going to set it to start B today. We could technically do both. It doesn't make a difference. And what you're going to want to do is click this button quickly. Click. That's as long as you need to click it for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the RPM slowly spool up. You can see it right here. And we're waiting for 11%. Hold your mouse over this switch, scroll wheel forward on the mouse, and we're just going to look up here. And you can see hydraulic pressure is going to, actually not hydraulic pressure, oil pressure comes up, temperature goes up, NH goes up. And if we look out the window, you'll observe this engine is not turning, but you can hear it. Now again, this is sealed right now, locked. So we're running basically low power. This is our APU, if you want to think about it another way. We're basically chilling on it right now. Now this would be a great time, of course, to get everything all preset. Now this is the part that blows everybody's mind. So I'm going to flip my head back up here. Now that I know that it's spinning up to a good speed, I can actually safety the starter here if I wanted. And if I turn on the generator, what you'll observe is not everything turns on. Now you'll notice now we've got that DC bus now powered. And you'll also notice the standby bus. Again, we don't have anything there yet because we're not running any of the inverters. But the big thing is you'll observe that our pressure for hydraulic pumps is not engaged. We don't get hydraulic pressure just because we're running on our hotel power, which is one of the common problems you're going to be smacking into. We do have the ability to recharge our batteries, though, and we're no longer basically discharging that battery, which means we can sit here for quite a while we do things like fiddle with our FMS. Now, here's where the fun starts. You so want to click that button. You know you want to click it. As a matter of fact, I'll click it. And you'll notice, because we finished booting up our INS system, which you probably didn't see the number here, it opens up, and now we can start pushing all of our buttons and getting it all set up. That is for another day, another video kind of a thing. Now, let's say we're ready to get this thing rolling. We've got that engine sitting on hotel power. We really, really want to go ahead and get the engine started. Now, there's a couple different philosophies here. One thing we could do is we could start that other engine, and once that other engine started, we could then disengage the hotel power. The other option we have, too, is to disengage the hotel power on that side. I'm a big fan of option A versus option B, just for kind of safety. And again, company procedures will dictate all that stuff. Clear, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get our other engine started. Now, this is easy. All I have to do here is go ahead and turn this one on, set it to our starter. We're using A, and fast click there. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to see the RPM start to come up here. This is our N1, or N2, I should say. 70, 60, 11%. Go ahead and click that. You're going to get an angry beep. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to get this guy going. There she goes. Awesome. Now, the cool thing is because that engine is now started, we now can use that engine to take care of all the hard work of doing AC and hydraulic pressures and all those other useful things for us. So now that the guy's all started, I'm going to go ahead and disengage this mode real quickly here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the AC bus going, because that means we get our lovely hydraulic pumps, which means we can get that other propeller to start turning. So to do that, I actually have to come down here to my propeller condition lever. I'm going to set this to auto. Don't left click on this. You will do it. Just put your mouse over it, scroll wheel forward. We'll snap that to auto. So what's going to happen now is that engine is going to spool up a little bit. And it's going to get spinning and spinning. That looks a little weird, but it's going. It's going. And in a few moments, we're going to get everything. And you'll see up above, everything will start snapping on one by one as all of our power systems come online once we hit that critical RPM that we basically need to get. Floating down here, we got some little thing. Up there it goes. Click, 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 click. Everything snaps on at the same time. And if you look up here, you will notice all of our hydraulic systems are working. My AC bus is now charged. I can actually go here and get my pitot tubes all warmed up and stuff like that. But what you will also observe is ready prop brake. Now, if I hit that, you'll observe over here on the right wing that this propeller starts happily spinning away. Now, keep in mind, these two are running at different speeds to each other because we just disengaged that. Now, I'm going to safety this so I don't accidentally. But the cool thing now is all I have to do is come down here and you have yourself a big old condition lever, hold your mouse over it, scroll wheel forward, and if you look, everything's going to come snapping up on its own. Looking up above my head, you'll observe that all the critical warning systems, including this AC generator, is going to snap out in a minute, just to kind of give us a heads up that everything's working. While that's going on, of course, we can secure the last couple buttons here. I can turn the main supply on, things like that. I'm going to get my emergency lights going. Like I said, it's going to take a moment for that to catch, and you can see just like that, it has caught. So now we have a fully running aircraft. We did everything on our own. The last thing everybody forgets is to go ahead and get rid of the wheel chocks. They wonder why they're not moving very far. It's because you probably forgot this step. So as you can see, the hotel power is a very useful way to kind of run things as you get your FMS set up. It's not great for other things because of that hydraulic shenanigan. Enjoy.